Okay, so, hey guys, it's Iamani and Emily Julian here, and we're going to be analyzing the play by, not a play, a sonnet by Gerard Manley Hopkins, okay? It's called I Wake and Feel the Fell of Dark, Not Day. And one thing to keep in mind here is that this play, sonnet doesn't actually have a title. And the title, well, it does, but the title is actually the first line instead of giving it an actual title because he didn't. And I assume this is because of the fact that most of Gerard Manley Hopkins' sonnets did not get published until after his death by his friend, his lifelong friend. I forgot his name, but yes. So I think that's why. And but yeah, like the lack of title doesn't detract from the sonnet at all. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna read it one time just to get like an idea of what we're looking at, and then we're gonna start analyzing it, breaking it down into bits, and then maybe we'll get a better idea. So let's go. Okay. I wake and feel the fell of dark, not day. What hours, or what black hours we have spent this night. What sights you, heart saw, ways you went, and more must, and yet longer lights delay. With witness I speak this, but where I say hours, I mean years, mean life. And my lament is cries countless, cries like dead letters sent to dearest him that lives alas away. I am gall, I am heartburn, God's most deep decree, bitter would have me taste. My taste was me, bones built in me, flesh filled, blood brimmed the curse, self yeast of spirit, a dull dough sours. I see, the lost are like this, and their scourge to be, as am mine, the sweating selves, but worse. Okay. So as you can see from the play, the outlook is very negative and deep and dark. It's almost depressing, you guys can say. So now that we got the tone, we're going to start breaking this down into little bits. So let's see what we got here. It says the first line is also the title. Awake and feel the fellow dark in that day. So you can say how he wakes up in the morning. He just wakes up in general and feels the fellow dark, not day. So you can say he feels night, or he experiences nighttime, or like basically something dark. His perception, like his reality is very like melancholy, gloom. You know, it's not happy. So basically, I guess you could even say in like the brightest of days, that's not what he's experiencing. He's experiencing more of like a nighttime, more of like a dark, more like an just very sad, experience. So what hours or what black hours we have spent. So this line you can interpret it as he spent all this time, and I guess like in a depression, or I guess in the sleep nightmares, you know black hours. So basically, it's like time that he spent have not been really good. So that's something to keep in mind. This night, what sights you, heart saw, ways you went. I'm not exactly sure what this line means, but I think we're gonna get a better understanding once we go to the next one. And more must, and yet longer lights delay. So okay, I'm gonna leave this line off for a bit. This line right here, these two, and we're just gonna keep on going on. Okay. With the witness, I speak this, but where I say hours, I mean years, mean life. Oh, this is interesting. I like this part because this means kind of like when you're depressed. Not really. I guess you can't really say when you're depressed, but when you're sad, or when you're experiencing something of like doubt, or glum, negative. I guess time, your perception of time kind of different. Like I guess like when you say you're having fun or whatever, hours can feel like minutes or even seconds. Something like that. So I guess what he's saying here is that he's lost his perception of time, and something where it means like hours can actually feel like years, and that all like accumulates in life. So that's something to keep in mind. His perception of time is gone, and my lament is cries countless, cries like dead letters sent to dearest him that lives alas away. So dead letters. Letters. I was thinking more of this like a prayer, because actually Hopkins was a religious man. He was a Jesuit, I believe, and he tried to incorporate some of his works through his sonnets, his art, and being like a religious person in general, a religious figure. But it was frowned upon. The people, his peers or whatever, it was frowned upon, and that discouraged him to publish any of his other works, which is why he didn't publish his works, which is why his works weren't published until he died. But as you can see, it's very like doubtful, very he's a religious man, but I guess you can see he's questioning God or whatever. Dead letters is prayers, and it sounds like cries. His prayers are cries, and yeah. So that's something interesting. Okay, now we're gonna go into the next part. I am gall. I am heartburn. So now he's reflecting on himself. I am gall. Gall means to. Let's look this up. Gall. Oops. Gall. Gall is a bold, impudent behavior. So I get very disrespect, negative. I guess you could say negative. Bitter. Bitter. I think that's a good word. It's very negative. I'm heartburn. God's most deep decree. Bitter would have me taste. My taste was me. So I guess again he's reflecting upon himself. Like if there was a taste, if I had a taste, it would probably be bitter. I don't taste very good, and I guess you could say that taste isn't like his essence of life. It's very negative as you can see, and again like throughout the whole entire sonnet, you can see that. It's there. So that's interesting. My taste was me. Bones built in me, flesh filled, blood brimmed the curse. I'm not exactly sure what this line means here, but again, it's very negative. Bones built in me. I guess the whole structure of his body. Flesh filled, blood brimmed the curse. Okay, we're gonna go into the next line. That's okay. Self yeast of spirit of dull dough sours. Okay, so well actually, dough can sour. Basically, yeast brings up dough. Like if we're talking about bread here, right? And if his life is bread, it's become sour. Like sour is like when bread expires or becomes stale or not good anymore, not able to eat. That's what happens, and I feel like that's what he's using this comparison to reflect on his life. I guess in a little sense of a metaphor. So I see the lost are like this, and they're scourged to be as I am mine. They're sweating selves, but worse. So he can compare himself. He's comparing himself definitely to like other people's scenarios, but he's experiencing this is his own experience, right? And again, I feel like he was very alone in this. Like no one really knew, since no one really knew about his art since it wasn't published. He was experiencing this all by himself, and he's very doubtful. He's a religious man. He's very doubtful. His prayers haven't been answered. So I mean, you gotta you gotta put into perspective of how that might feel. How like I feel like I was looking actually on him as a person, and it said throughout his biography, it said if he was a man today, like if he was alive today, he'd probably be diagnosed with depression or I think bipolar disorder, or he's not like his mental state is very unhealthy, and he's just unhappy in general. He's just not living life the fullest it could be. It's a very upsetting, and you can see that throughout the entire sonnet. So as am I, they're sweating cells but worse. So yeah, he's comparing something else, like other people, that all the lost souls, but being worse. So it's really not good. So let's see if we can get a picture here of this man. Oops. Okay. Lord Manly Hopkins. I think there's only like one or two. Yeah, exactly. There's only like a few pictures of him as a person, and as you can see, he doesn't look happy at all. He doesn't. He looks indifferent almost, I guess. But he doesn't look happy. He looks like like the as an artist. He was an artist. He's a passionate man, and I think he has other works. He has other works of art though. So this is not a full like you can't really base opinion off of this one sonnet, but it's still very good. And this shows how like I think he was also very versatile, especially from the beginning to now. Like it shows like a descent in happiness and like self-worth. And basically, if you look through his biography, it says that his art started off very differently, and eventually just like turned into more glum and more like looking within himself. So this is very interesting. Let's get like a picture of this bullet up here. So that's him. Okay. So yeah. So again, we're gonna read this one more time. Now that we've like analyzed this, we have a better idea of what we're talking about. So let's read this one more time, okay? And the title again is "I wake and feel the fell of dark, not day." So let's read it. I wake and feel the fell of dark, not day. What hours, or what black hours we have spent this night. What sights you, heart saw, ways you went, and more must, and yet longer's light delay. With witness I speak this, for where I saw, hours I mean years, mean life. And my lament is cries countless, cries like dead letters sent to dearest him that lives alas away. I am gall, I am heartburn, God's most deep decree. Bitter would have me taste. My taste was me. Bones built in me, flesh filled, blood brimmed the curse. Self yeast of spirit, a dull dough sours. I see, the lost are like this, and their scourge to be, as I mine, their sweetening selves, but worse. So even reading that, I mean, like I totally like changed the tone throughout the reading that because it's very depressing. It's very sad. And okay, so this is Gerard Manley Hopkins. This is his play. I mean, his not his play, his sonnet. I'm sorry for that. But yeah, this is his sonnet. And thank you for your time.